Welcome to another episode of My Brothers Video Podcast. I'm your host, Eric the Fat Check, and I'm here with the brothers today. What is up, fellas?
Yo.
Look, our topic today is I want to talk about the stimulus package and the stimulus check. Really, I want to focus on the check. I want to talk about the stimulus check, and I want to find out from the brothers just, how did he feel about it? How do you feel about the stimulus check? Do you think it's helpful? Do you think it's not helpful? Um, and if you don't think it's helpful, why don't you think it's helpful? If you do think it's helpful, in what ways do you think it's helpful? Right? Um, President Biden is asking for $1.9 trillion, and the intent is for it to go to state and local aid. The intent is for it to help with unemployment benefits and mass vaccinations. In addition, he's trying to right now get us a $1,400 check. And I say us, I'm not sure if I qualify. He's trying to get us a $1,400 check to make up for that $2,000 promise he made because of the $600 that was given back in December through that fund, those funds. And so if you think about 1.9 trillion, you think in respect to like Obama back in 2009 when we had the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, he had $800 billion that he used to help us get out of that I would say that economic challenge that we were experiencing back then. And this March of 2020, Trump had passed 2 trillion, right? 2 trillion at that time. And I think people were getting $600 in unemployment per week. So depending the maximum amount you can earn in unemployment is $450. Well, no, that's not true. My apologies.
Like 600, ain't it? 600 a week.
It goes up. It's it's $400, but then there's a percentage based on how much you make.
60%. It's 60% of your income of what you earn, what you would normally earn.
Over
60%.
Okay,
that's correct.
So in March of 2020, they put $600 on top of that, and that was a big argument because they were concerned about people not going back to work because they was making more money on unemployment.
And a lot of people were.
Then back in the workforce, right? And then December 2020, another $900 billion was passed, where that $600 one-time check came out to everybody, and they have unemployment for $300 per week, which I have benefited from. Quite frankly, that $300 and that extra unemployment has been helpful while I search for employment and try to get my career coaching up and running. So the monies that they're talking about, just from a spending perspective, they're talking about $170 billion going to schools, and another $440 billion going to communities for like loans and grants to small businesses, another $350 billion going to emergency funding. I'm not sure, what they're referring to in that, but another $160 billion in for funding national vaccinations, public health jobs, and expediting testing and providing testing to all. And so that includes PPE equipment. That includes the vaccinations that I was talking about. But I really want to talk about like the check itself, like the stimulus check, $1,400. What are your thoughts on it, everybody? Do you think it's going to make an impact? Do you not think it's going to make an impact? The $1,400, the one-time $1,400. I'll go with anybody.
Okay, so let me just clarify. For me, I don't qualify. I didn't qualify any of the stimulus. I didn't get any of it, and that's fine. I believe that it's a logistical nightmare. And I believe that the people that really need the money the most is not necessarily the ones that are receiving it. As an example, I personally know someone that they're getting the check and it's going right into their bank account or right into the stock market, and they haven't missed a paycheck. So I'm very frustrated with the way it's been rolled out. It should have been for the folks that can clearly show that they have not received any financial support other than unemployment. If you received a paycheck, and you're blessed to continue to have your job, I don't think you should have been even in the priorities as far as getting the stimulus check. I think that the government could have went to the IRS the same way they do for FAFSA, They could have got a transcript to see who actually had income being reported during the pandemic, and they could have prioritized it. My opinion, they could have prioritized it by the folks who had not reported any income to the IRS. That could have been the folks who got the money first. So that's my biggest frustration, is that, you know, I pay a lot of money in taxes. It's fine, I don't benefit from it, and I've been blessed not to be without a job throughout the pandemic. I've never missed a paycheck. No one on my staff has missed a paycheck, and I'm talking about 34 souls that haven't missed a paycheck during the pandemic. But so that's my stance on it. I just don't like the way they roll out. I'm not concerned about the trillions of dollars being tossed around, because under Donald Trump, when he took office, it was the debt clock was 19 trillion. When he left office, it was 27 trillion. And all my fiscal conservative friends never said anything about him exploding the debt. And now the I don't care, 1.9 trillion, I'm not fazed by any of that.
Hey, listen, real quick. Talk about how it was rolled out, because I think there's some meat to what you're saying, right? And how they were determining who gets what. Do you want to elaborate?
If you filed a tax return in 2018, you got, and they had your direct deposit information, you got a deposit if you filed a tax return. Now, as a tax guy, I do taxes. So a lot of I have 54 customers. A good majority of those customers did not necessarily receive the benefit. So as I'm doing their 2020 taxes, if they didn't get the $600 or $1,200, they're actually adding that to their this year's tax return. So even if they didn't get it last year, the government is giving them the $1,200 or $1,800, depending upon how many kids you have. You know, it's $600, and then you get another $600 if you have children per kid. So depending upon how you filed. Now, lastly, I have had clients that, you know, rolled out and earned $3,000 for the whole year, right? But that's by their choice. And they get a huge refund because of the federal earned income credit and the child tax credit. And so they benefit from a huge return. So they know how to game the system. They work a little bit, earn some money, so they can get a huge tax return.
And so that was, hold on one second, comedian, real quick. So that was for 2018. So they're going to also be doing that for 2019 too, right?
Correct.
So essentially what you're saying is they're going back and looking at what your total earnings were your previous taxable income year, right?
Correct.
To make a determination of whether or not you get a check. Yeah.
Correct.
Do you think that's fair?
No, but I mean, again, there's a lot of different variables, right? But for me, bro, I'm telling you, man, I like I said, I was a blessing to families throughout this pandemic, and those families needed that money and didn't get that money because of the way the system was, because the way it's just frustrating.
So wait, just for clarification, are you saying they did not file taxes, so they didn't get money?
Because they didn't file taxes the year before, they had no information. Then when they reach out, the only person that they could talk to, that they would keep saying the same thing over and over again. Oh, well, we'll make up for it during your tax return when you do your taxes. Well, ma'am, I only worked 1 month. The minimum, if you earn $3,000 or more, you're supposed to file taxes. Anything under $3,000, you don't have to file. Now, for me, I tell all my clients, regardless of how much you earn, I don't care if it's $100, we're filing a tax return. If they took out 1 cent, you're getting that 1 cent back. I want there to always be a record that you did file your taxes, federal and state.
And that makes sense, because for this simple purpose, right? The fact that they didn't file, they're not getting monies. What were you going to say, comedian?
I think my perspective, being a single parent and working from home, I got the first stimulus and the second, right? I got both. But I also look at the fact that even though I made, I don't know, what I was under the 75,000, and that's only because I'm a comedian and I lose money doing comedy. Now this year I'm in trouble. I'm calling like it is. I'm absolutely in trouble with my taxes because I don't have the write-offs that I had last year. You know what I mean? So this year I probably won't qualify for nothing. But what I think we have to understand also about the stimulus, the money that we got kind of offsets me working from home and my son being here every day, and me running the heat and me running the air conditioner in the summer. My bills was nowhere near what they used to be. My electric bill was averaging $300 a month here in California, man, and that ate up all that stimulus money. Let me tell you right now, So it was not a benefit because I took that money and I try to put it back in the community because I think that way. I want to go out and I want to buy food. I want to buy things. I want to keep the money moving. But a lot of that went to just paying the bills that are different than they were when I was working at my job. You know what I mean? It's definitely different for me as far as for in California. I don't know about back east, but our electric bill out here is a beast.
Yeah,
and I'm sure a fact checker in the corner can tell you. Summers out here, we can get a $400 or $500 electric bill like it ain't nothing. And it only take 2 of those. And that's the stimulus check. You know what I mean? That's it. It's gone. But my son is here 24/7 now. 24, he's here every day.
I have a question, if it's okay. Can I don't want to take anybody else's time. I just have a question.
Yeah.
And this is not, it's just a question.
Yeah.
So what I've done, right, is for folks that, how much money do you spend on gas going to and from work?
Yeah.
How much do you spend on meals when you're at work? And to me, it's kind of an offset.
Not here.
And
not in California.
Yeah. Well, in my gas bill, if everybody's working from home, especially in the wintertime, is about where you are. So I'm talking gas is we're between $400 and $500.
I work
electric.
Yeah, I work 5 minutes from my job.
Oh,
so
okay.
I mean, that's why I moved where I lived at. But I'm saying I didn't realize how much it affected me having him here all the time. Right. I did not know, when I started looking at because I got a what I call a true something on my app, and it tells me about my spending. And when I look at the stimulus and the fact that I'm going to have to claim, am I going to have to claim that money?
Yeah, but it's not taxable. So
okay,
don't worry. There is going to be a spot on there where you claim it. As a matter of fact, they might even give you a percentage of it. They might even give you a little bit more.
Right, because at this point, I don't have the write-offs I've had last year. So I'm going to be in a whole different tax bracket. I'm going to be in the 100,000 area. And the last couple of years, I've been in the 75, which, you know what I mean, is a great bracket to be in. But you hit the hundreds, it's a whole deal, they're doing taxes. So the stimulus helps me. I think it's definitely helped a little bit. It ain't the answer to everything, but I think, like you were saying, the right people need to get it. But they also need to do the right thing with it. That's another thing. You know what I mean? That's a whole different ballgame.
So let me comment real quick on what Frank said. Appreciate that, comedian. So yeah, for me, preacher, you're correct. When my commute, my gas was like $400 a week.
Oh yeah,
$500 a week going back and forth to work, right? Because of where I commuted to work. It's
and traffic.
And traffic. So I mean, fortunately, I've been able to offset that. So working from home. Also, I have solar. I moved to electric vehicle for that. Because of that, I moved to electric vehicle for those purposes. But yeah, to your point, for some people there is some offset. I guess for me, it's more around, it's just a one-time check of $1,400. And it goes like that for anybody when it comes to bills, right? I mean, is it help?
Right.
It's clearly helping people. It helps a lot of people. Whoever gets it, it helps in some form or fashion if they use it the right way.
Right.
But it's not an end-all, solve-all. But I'm curious, Baller, what's your perspective on this here about this check, $1,400?
Well, I actually, the first one, just like the comedian, I received that, but again, with the preacher was saying also, it depends. It helps because here on one hand, I got zero, then I'll get this money. Of course, it's going to help me some way, shape, or form. Now, what I do with it is something totally different. And I've been around for what I do for a living, seeing people not use it wisely. Because now, okay, you can go to Florida for under $100. Oh, let's go to Florida. We haven't been. So you spend $200 up and back, maybe another, altogether to me, like maybe $600 on a trip down to the beach, airline to the beach. So we have a lot of people, are justifiable in doing what they need to do. And then some people are not justifiable. I'm like, yo, you go where? And then you got to come back, you got these bills. But again, there was people like myself, because just like, Kev was saying, his son is home. I got 2 grown ones here, 2 grown men, and just like you're saying, electricity on the day, they playing the games all day. 2, 3 in the morning, then got to turn around and feed them. You know, so just like you got Mr. Costco, my name is Mr. BJ.
There it is. They eat out of house and home.
You know what my name is? My name is landlord, because if the check don't come in, everything else is cut off. $400 a month, Delina. And when my boys was here, $400 a month. If you don't like it, that you can hit this 2 exits.
We have one that goes to school. The other one works. So they kind of shut his job down or whatever. I get that. You know, we gotta, as parents, we gotta do what we need to do. You know, but if you think about that, is an added expense, because if I'm out, well, my wife's here working from home now, but there's certain things are not on when she's here by herself and I'm out working. You know what I'm saying? But now both of the boys are here. Excuse me. I got to make sure, we both have to make sure food is in the fridge for them to eat. Again, the utilities are being used on, instead of, let's say, for argument's sake, on between a 12 to 13 hour a day, now we're looking at 17 to 18 hours a day being used, because these boys don't go to sleep till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And when they actually go to sleep, their lights is out. Me and my wife, we about to get up. So that cycle of utilities is still being ran. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't care, the shower, the water, everything.
Yes. Everything's higher.
Everything higher. But at the end of the day, that $14 is gone like that. You know what I'm saying? So again, when these politicians try to dictate what to give us, I'm like, well, they still getting a check. They still getting what they need to get. And then stuff on the back end. You know, that's why sometimes at this point in time, I really don't trust a lot of politicians. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to money that they're trying to allocate, is actually our money. That's just like, I'm holding your money, each give me $100. Oh, well, Barry, we need $50. No, take this 25 and I'll see what you can do with that. You know, so, but then I get where there's a lot of other people that don't do what they need to do, you know, and it makes it hard on the honest person.
Kruner, what is your opinion on this?
Man, I'm up here taking in everything what everyone has said. Now, I agree, and Kev kind of touched, you know, the comedian kind of touched on it a little bit. It's simple as this, man. It's a stimulus check, and the check is really for to make the politicians feel good. Period. They don't care about the trillions of dollars and none of that. They want to get a feather in their hat as far as being reelected. Period. That's what it is. So if you go out and spend the money any kind of way, you're stimulating the economy. You know, so if you're going to Florida, you still stimulate the economy. If you save it, that's the only way you're not going to stimulate the economy. But I know a lot of people that are saving it, you know, not spending it at all. So, you know, it's a yin and yang, you know, no matter what we say or what comes out on this, they're going to do what they're going to do, you know. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you feel you don't deserve the check, why not return the check? I don't see nobody doing that.
Yeah, interesting.
Ooh.
Hey, he went in. Big Doc, what are your thoughts on this check? $1,400.
Well, I mean, if you get the check, like you are going to do what you want to do with it anyway, whether you save it or you spend it. It all depends what your priorities are. If your priorities are for you to need that money to spend it wisely, you spend it wisely. If you want to drink it, eat it, and do it that way, you're going to drink it and eat it. So it's really up to you, your own personal choice of what you're going to do with that money. To me, I don't have, my responsibilities is just me. So I mean, when I got it, it was gone. So I mean, that's just me. I mean, you guys all have, you know, the families, you know, everybody's married and have children and taking care of everybody else. But since I don't have that, then I was like, okay, it's just a extra check where it's okay, I can pay that bill off. But I'm going to drink some of that and I'm going to smoke some of that. So that's how
Hey, Doc, I understand. Look, Doc, I understand strippers need money too. I get it.
Hey,
you know, that's stimulating the economy. You know what I'm saying?
that's how it was. So, you know, I mean, when I got it, I made sure all the bills was paid. Whatever was left over, I smoked and drank it.
Take it off.
Yeah, I was good with it.
So listen. So first of all, I didn't qualify for a stimulus check
But this time or last time?
last time, nor will I qualify for one this time. Even
Okay.
I think that's part of the problem with the system, right? They look at your previous year. They're gonna look at last year, and we gonna make way over what the allocation is to give a stimulus check, right?
75,000.
Yeah, but
It's 200,000. It's 200,000
per married couple, right?
Is it?
per. It's 200,000 per married couple.
What is it for a single?
100,000. They looking to move it back down, but right now they may move it. They may move the goalpost to 100,000 and under.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna. Well, actually, if it's over, yeah, we'll be very close at the 2 something, right? Because I ended employment in November, right? And so I cut off a couple of months. But the previous year I didn't collect at all because I was over. And this year probably the same, won't collect it if they're looking at previous year's taxes. Here's the thing. I think for individuals like myself, I could use that stimulus check, quite honestly. But here's the other thing. It's confusing. I'm still trying to understand it. I am getting the additional dollars when it comes to the unemployment, right? Which I am thankful for. Believe me. And I'm using it to take care of our bills, right? First of all, I could do nothing and we still be covered because of my wife, right? And vice versa. When I was working, she could have been covered, right? So that's kind of the blessing in disguise. We got one person capable of making it to support the bills that we have, right? And so for me, what I really want to understand, we can't control how people spend the money, right? We can't control it, right? You get the money, it's a stimulus check, stimuli to stimulate, right? They're trying to stimulate some form of recovery, but a lot of people are just trying to pay bills. There was another country, and you might know, Donald, I don't know if any of y'all know, Australia, who paid, they literally were paying everybody, they were giving kind of a monthly stipend every month for a period of months.
Canada did that.
Canada did that as well.
Yeah, Canada did it as well. So did Austria. They did
Austria
it.
and Canada. And so, it's a one-time $1,400 is better than nothing. But I mean, overall, it's almost like a slap in the face, right? Right. We still going through these struggles, but I guess my question is should we even be giving out the check at all? Right? Like because it ain't really making a huge impact. You pay one check and you can still end up on the street the next month.
Because it's just going to satisfy that month when you get that money. It's just going to satisfy that particular month that you get it.
Yeah.
So once you get that money, and before you're going to go ahead.
I don't want to listen. I don't want to talk about how people, like, we know people are going to spend it how they want. I'm just saying people who spend it the way they're supposed to spend it. If they're in debt, if you are in debt and bills and you're trying to get yourself out or stay above water, right? The mind would tell you, okay, I get this money, let me kind of put it here. Otherwise, I'm going to be out of, I'm going to be out of this home, or I'm not going to have any food to feed my kids, right? My question is should, $1,400, quite frankly, ain't enough to really help us continue to progress. The economy's starting to come back slowly. There are some positions that are really out there that are prevalent, right? Where you can still find opportunities. But the economy's coming back slowly, and is $1,400 enough, y'all?
Well, I just want to.
Not for that one-time hit. No, it's not. I mean, it's not going to be for that one-time hit. I believe if they're going to do it and do it continuously like they did with Austria and Canada, I see if there was $1,400 a month for just say 3 to 4 months, then I could see that could be a little bit more helpful than just that one-shot deal.
What were you going to say, Donald?
What I'm seeing, not just from my parishioners, but from people that I know personally, what I'm seeing is that the financial windfall is a blessing to a lot of people, right? Because those same individuals are at food banks. Yes. We used to have a food ministry. Yes. Now, Philly Abundance, they're not giving out the amount of food that they were giving out because all the food banks are being heavily taxed because people need food. So like I said, I'm not calling out any particular family. I'm saying me personally, Frank Adams, what I've done personally, there is a better way, right? But I'm not a politician, so I don't know the better way. But the laws that were passed for people not being evicted, right?
Yep.
Those are major. The unemployment extension, those are major.
Yep.
You know, Eric, you're very blessed to have that situation, right?
Yep.
But I know families, this, a single mom
I'm
feeding
single.
4 kids,
Yep.
making $30,000 a year, working 2 jobs. I get it.
Yeah.
Those are there is a way to do it. And then lastly, what I'll say is, the student loans, the deferment if you have a federal student loan.
Yes. Yep.
That has helped me.
Me too.
Tremendously. Not that I couldn't afford it, but I'm using that money to do other things with stock market, cryptocurrency. I'm building wealth. It's okay. I'm just saying that, like, there is so many ways to help the people that's really in need, bro. And it's heartbreaking what I see in my community. And then on the flip side, I know of people who have applied for loans in the state of Pennsylvania. If you do some research, there's going to be about 12 or 15,000, 12 to 15,000 people getting locked up in Philadelphia for filing false claims, getting money, claiming they had businesses. There was a dude, I don't know his name, but there was a dude in the city that was charging people money to fill out these applications to get some of that stimulus money. And that's what I'm saying. And that right there, I'm sitting there and you don't know how angry that made me. Like, that's that ninja stuff, yo.
Yeah. So a lot of people are investing their money into stocks, right? Into cryptocurrency, right? They're taking those additional dollars.
Not poor people. Let's just be.
Yeah, not poor people for sure.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, not us. But let me say this. I got a different perspective, man. And I this is my honest perspective about $1,400. You work every day, you get a check, you get direct deposit, your money goes into your bank. Let me ask you a question. Every one of us here, before we was who we are, you remember when you used to hustle? You remember what that hustle money felt like? When that money go into the bank, it's different money to you. That hustle money is different. I can get my check for $5,000 in the bank, but that $200 I get from comedy means some more to me for some reason. I can't explain it. Like that $1,400, it just may be a mental thing to people. Of course, it ain't gonna pay all the bills, but maybe it gives them that little push or that little excitement that I can go out here and make something happen. Because we take money and we flip it. We've always done that. Now we just do it legally, stocks and things like that. So my perspective is that it may not fix every problem. $1,400 ain't meant to do that, but it's to stimulate. And even if it stimulates your mind to do something with that $1,400, to make that 14 into 2,800, to make that 28 into 3,000. You see what I'm saying? But that it's like hustle money to me.
That's a good thing. I never even thought about it that way.
It is to me, but we're doing the same thing though. So when I get out there perform, it's
yes. It's think about when you were that before you are who you are today. Yeah. When you got that cash in your hand, when you told her flip them sneakers that you bought for $15 and you got $300 for them because you changed the price tag on them and made them from Macy's instead of Kmart. Remember when we did that? We used to do that with suits. We get that $20 suit from Kmart, go to Macy's, steal the price tag, put the $300 price tag on it, and sell it for $150. Come on, man!
I ain't never done that, bro. But I do know the watch hustle game. I do know that.
You know what I'm saying? But
and he could take a boot off a car. Half the price.
Take a boot off.
Don't be Vance. Don't me. I mean,
I can take a boot off the car. What you talking about? What you talking about, Crooner?
Watch game.
Huh? The watch game. I got that from Mr. Davis. What you talking about? Shit.
Hey, the watch game paid for 3 computers in my house. Let me tell you right now.
I had the Cartiers. I had everything.
It's a stimulus, is what it is.
I had a boy to go to Canal Street, and he would come home. I break him off, and then we out here flipping, bro.
Yes,
bags, Sean John sweatsuit, the whole 9 yards.
And even though you got a check, even though you got a direct deposit for $5,000-$6,000, it's something about that $300 cash in your hand that gives you that drive, that fire to keep doing, to do something. And that's all we talking about. We talking about
chicken wings and cheesesteaks.
It is. Whatever it is you do after that.
I watched the movie. So I want to talk about 2 other things real quick. I want to talk about Donald's topic of the money getting into the wrong hands. And so I also want to talk about that, which leads me to this movie I watched where it had oh my goodness, what is his name? Some rapper, and it was based in New Orleans where these guys couldn't find jobs, and he was collecting everybody's checks. They're like IRS checks or some type of checks.
Yeah,
and he was breaking them off. Ti, thank you. It was Ti in it.
I seen that in the movie. I seen that.
And
did he have a weird skin problem?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he had 2 birthmarks on his face.
Terribly shot. But other than that, let's go.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is that the money he was collecting all these checks and probably breaking off people a certain amount of money, and they're not getting their full funds, right? I'm wondering how much of that is happening today because people don't have accounts where they can.
It's happening. It's happening, man. It's happening in the hood. It really is.
Yeah,
it's happening in the hood, man. That loan sharks like it ain't nothing. That's all it is, loan sharking.
Yeah. So here's the question though. How do we get money in the right hands, these checks into the right hands, right? Donald mentioned that a lot of people are getting these checks that probably shouldn't get them. And so I heard somebody made a recommendation. Why don't everybody get a check? Right? Everybody gets some form of a check, and then at the end of the year, you do your taxes, and based on how much you earn,
take it back.
You take it back, right? And so I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Does that work? Does that not work? Are there pros and cons to it?
I'm just gonna say that Trump paid $750 in taxes and he made millions. So if you have a great accountant, get me the check. By the time I'm finished, my accountant, I listen, I'm not my own accountant. I have a CPA, and I pay him $1,000 to do my taxes.
Because you got a lot going on. So what do you guys think?
Cutthroat City. That's the name of the movie.
Is that Cutthroat
City? That's it. Cutthroat City. Yeah.
Good movie. I enjoyed it.
Terribly shot. Looked like they shot it on an iPhone. But it
was a good movie. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. Like, so like I said, I didn't get the stimulus check, but I am getting the $300 a week, and it makes a difference.
You're doing better than the stimulus check.
Well, I think that like for the people that live in apartments or they're having problems paying their landlord, it would have been nice if there was a website where they like, who do you want the check to go to? If you were 2 months or 3 months behind in your rent,
they have that now.
Right.
They have it now because the one prior to their phases now. I think they're in the phase 3. I think phase 3 is where the tenant actually gets the check and are to pay the landlord. Phase 2, the landlord received the money and they had to renounce any late fees, any fees, anything like that outside of the norm rent fee, So they actually do have that now in Pennsylvania.
Oh, really?
I got a question. What about the folks that's been paying their rent and then the owner of the property hasn't been paying their mortgage and now they're getting ready to get sheriff's sale? I've seen that happen too.
A lot, but that's a scam. That's another scam that people take.
Actually, I got a lot of those too.
Bankruptcy.
I'll go home where they'll ask me, "Well, why am I here?" And I'm like, "It's up for sheriff's sale, bro.
This is the paperwork.
Nothing I could do." You know what I'm saying? Well, I rent from such and such.
Simple.
I suggest you give him a call.
Simple,
because if you've been paying your rent, he ain't been doing what he need to do as far as your rent. Now your property's up for sale. You know what I'm saying? Well, what can I do? There's actually nothing you can do. It's the person that owns the property. Because
they have no recourse, man. That's bad.
So we would all agree that the stimulus check is better than nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So but to Donald's point, Donald, you said certain people aren't getting a check because they haven't gotten taxes. What do you think the solution is? Would giving everybody a check be the solution, and then for that tax year have everybody, when they do their taxes?
Who's everybody?
Yeah, that.
No,
anyone that's over 18 and has a social security number. I mean, is that what you're? Is that the specific?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. There's some qualifiers there. Yes.
U.S. citizen. Yeah, U.S. citizen over 18. Not living with their mom or dad. I mean, here's the thing, right? My daughter, who lives with me, she got the stimulus both times.
Wow.
Did she break me off? No. No, because I can't claim her on my taxes. She graduated from college 2 years ago.
Hey, here's a question for you. Preacher with a gun. Here's a question.
Yep.
If
Go ahead.
you got women who don't work and all they
Yes.
collect is from the state, all
Yes.
they get is EBT, welfare, all that stuff.
Right.
They don't file taxes.
No, they do not. And
So
if anybody
how
claims,
would they get that money then? That's the question you're asking, right? Fact checker?
Yeah.
So if they're already living off the system,
they don't get a check.
they don't get a check.
They don't get a check. Now, I know people that has benefited from that, and they went into the IRS website, and there was a website, and if you put in some information, and if they deemed that you were eligible, they would send you a check.
Wow.
Very rare that it happens.
I was gonna say,
very, very rare that it happens.
Yeah.
So should people?
You don't
Let's
have
talk about it.
taxable
Should
income.
people collecting EBT, or let's just say, should people collecting EBT, collecting these checks from the state on a regular basis actually get a check?
Of course.
Well, I have a problem that when I'm going to the store and I'm paying with my debit card and I see a gentleman or a young lady that looks like me, that looks like they're physically able, that they got a Gucci bag on, that they have their nails done, they got a brand new iPhone, a $1,300 iPhone, and then they get to the counter and they swipe with their EPD card. I have a problem with that.
Yeah,
I have a problem with that.
So, Crooner, you said of course. So why do you say of course?
I never had a problem with it, man, because I grew up, like I said, I grew up in Chicago, and before the EPT, they had the the food stamps. And
Food stamps.
I would go to my friend's house who had food stamps, and they had a lot more than I did, And I just look at this country as a whole, the government as a whole, man. I mean, my hat's off to them. Get your hustle on. Get your hustle on, because the same way I was hustling when I did the stuff I did, they doing it too. So hey.
Yeah, but is that the right thing? Is that the godly thing, Leon?
You know what? Let me explain.
I want to hear.
Nobody's doing the godly thing or the right thing.
But that doesn't mean I'm just question. I'm asking because nobody's doing it. Does that mean it's the right thing to do?
Let me Judge Vance, like I just said, no one's doing the right thing. Like I said earlier, if you don't think you deserve the money, send the money back. Right. Are you gonna send the money back?
He never got it.
Is that a godly thing?
I never got it.
Well, let me say this.
Of course.
Preacher with a gun. And that's a good example. I got to agree with both. In the baller. I was in line at a market. It was a lady in front of me, beautifully dressed, fingernails done, had a Birkenstock bag or whatever it was, the big bag, the Burt, whatever that $3,000 bag is.
Burberry.
Had some red bottom Louis Christian Louboutins.
She has some $3,000 shoes.
Got in line, gave her EBT card. I seen it was an EBT card. This woman didn't have $3. They rejected her card for $3. And I'm sitting there looking at this woman. It was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. And she was arguing with the cashier about the $3 on this card. She was dressed to the hilt. I'm talking about looked like she was worth millions, smelled like millions. Mm-hmm. Couldn't do $3 on an EBT card.
So my question is still, why would they just? Why would someone collecting welfare
get that stimulus?
Getting support. I don't want to use welfare, but getting support directly from the government
because you already getting support
on an ongoing basis. Why would you want to? Why should they get the stimulus check when they're already getting money on an ongoing basis? What's changed, Crooner?
No.
Well, some people just don't have that the attitude that we have to get out there and do. They just don't. And I know family generational welfare, like 3 or 4 generational welfare. And that to me is sad. But they have no drive, no motivation. I mean, you need to go to the hood some more and visit.
No. It's not about that. But but here's my question. Do they deserve to be rewarded for not going out and trying? as opposed to someone who goes out and tries, right? So you got two people living in the hood, right? One's going out and trying. They got themselves a job. They got themselves off of welfare or collecting from the state on a regular basis. And the other person just chilling back in a cut and collecting on a regular basis. This one person loses the job, right? Now they're back in a situation where, you know, hey, they went out and tried. The other person didn't. Both of them still deserve the same thing.
So how are you going to determine who tries and who not tries? How you gonna set that boundary up?
You're the one who said people sit back and don't do anything.
I'm just saying that, but I'm saying how you gonna make the difference? You keep saying somebody that tries and somebody that don't try.
You're going out and find what I'm using as the definition of trying is that you're going out and you've attempted to find yourself an employment and found gainful employment is what I'm referring to.
I understand that.
Be it McDonald's, Roy Rogers, you know, Chick-fil-A, or whatever the case may be. I want to stick to the question.
I think the problem. Let me go with this one. I think the problem here is, okay, if you take a job like right now, why would you work at Roy Rogers for $4 an hour?
No, I got you. Hold on. Let's just say hypothetically. Listen, hypothetically, all I'm saying, it's not about. I'm not talking about how much money you make at Roy Rogers or wherever fast food restaurant. Let's just say hypothetically, you were making more than the check. Hypothetically, okay, you're working there. My point is that you went out and started trying to work as opposed to sitting home in the cut and doing nothing and just hanging out in the hood, right? Now I can see if you're disabled, right, potentially, and not able to find employment because you are a person with a disability, but I can't see you fairly saying that, oh, well, this person should get the check too. They're already collecting from the state while this person A is collecting from the state and person B, maybe they were collecting from the state. Like my mom, she was on welfare, right? I grew up on welfare, right? We were on welfare. My mom went out and started working and she made just enough to get us off of welfare. You feel me? Right? She made just enough to get us off of welfare. You understand? And so now she's making just enough money to get us off of welfare because she didn't like us being in that situation. Okay. Now, if she lost her job and then, you know, person A, she's person B, person A is just sitting in the cut, never going out, got the kids and the family and don't go out and look for work. My mom's lost a job. So you're saying that the person who's just sitting in the cut doing nothing should get the check and my mom should get the check. And that's all fair and fine and well.
Well, that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
No, I'm not asking you.
Whether or not you say it's fair or not, that's just the way it is, man.
But I'm asking you a pointed question.
Is that a fair assumption that A and B should get the same equal treatment?
He knows the question I'm asking. That's what I'm asking you. Is it fair?
No.
Well, listen, we already know that it's not fair, right?
No. I want Kruder to tell me if it's fair or not. The system, not you, Donald. I want Kruder to tell me if it's fair or not.
The system is rigged, and I know what the Kruder is saying.
It's not fair.
If you can game the system, game the system. That's what Kruder is saying.
It's not fair at all, man. It's not fair at all. But that's just what I've grown up and what I saw.
No, I hear you, and I don't disagree.
And like we said earlier, you know, people feel like you said your mom just barely made enough. Those people out there say, well, if I'm barely gonna make enough, I'm gonna keep my behind at home.
Well, I have a solution to all that. I have a solution to all that.
Go ahead,
okay. Here's my solution. Okay. If you want to collect any type of public assistance, and it is supposed to be a hand up or a help up, not a hand out, right? Then if you're collecting any type of public assistance and you're physically able, guess what? You're gonna be on the highway picking up trash. And the reason why I say that, when I gave my son 30 days to find a job when he dropped out of high school, you got 30 days to start bringing some money in here. And so when I was getting up and he was staying up playing video games at 5 o'clock in the morning, I would have a frying pan and a spatula, and I'd be right at the top of the steps banging. When I'm getting up, you get your black beep beep up. Now, if you went back to sleep once I went to work, that's fine, but you got 30 days. And if in 30 days you didn't have a job, so he took a job working at, matter of fact, I filled out an application working at Kitty City. You know, remember Toys R Us, Kitty City? And so guess what? After that, he was like, Dad, just come home, feed her. I don't care. You bringing in some kind of money. Whatever your check was, if it's $117, 25% of your check go to me. 25% of your check go to me.
Let me that, Donald. I'm of a firm belief you don't reward those who don't put in effort. Right?
Absolutely not.
And that's a good belief, but the
reality, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%.
The reality is the system is so rigged that people make money without ever working, and they'll make more money not working than they will working. And that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah,
and that's what I think you talk about, Croner. It's not fair. And I agree. No, the system is not. And somebody who got 3 kids cannot make enough money at a regular job to support those 3 kids. They'll make more from the state than they will from working a job.
That's a fact.
And they'll have more babies to get more money from the state.
Exactly.
But here's the challenge. Here's the challenge with this comedian.
Yes.
It becomes a cyclical process.
It has
It becomes a generation.
Somebody has to
where does it? Where does it stop? Who breaks the cycle?
Did you break the cycle for your family?
Yeah, like
and I broke the cycle for my family. You got to decide.
Exactly.
You got to decide for yourself.
Exactly.
But everybody don't have that. Everybody don't have that drive, man. I don't know why. I'll tell you right now, Vance, you and Kevin, I don't know right now why my friends and family stayed in Chicago. It's hard.
I don't either.
It's hard, man. I send them pictures all the time of sunshine and all kinds of stuff during winter time. I say, I don't know why. When they come out here to visit me, they have the best time in their lives. You know, Barry, you know how it is. We have a great time out here, man.
Cut them ties.
Yeah, but the cost of living also is true.
It is, but we go out there. We got to hustle for it, though. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm never coming to the West Coast. I love snow too much. So
listen. I don't want to stay on long. We can continue to talk all night, fellas. But essentially, I wanted to talk about the stimulus check. I wanted to get your opinions on it. I think we all agree that the stimulus check does help, right?
Yeah.
It does make some impact, right?
It's not fair.
Yeah, but the question is, how can it be allocated out such that everyone is receiving? When I say everyone, I'm referring to individuals 18 years or older of age to work. And how can everyone receive a check in a manner such that they can use it? And then for those who don't need the money, it's taken back out from a tax perspective. But I think that brings up another issue.
If they ain't foreign taxes, they ain't gonna get the money back from you.
I was gonna say, what if they don't file their taxes, right?
Right.
Well, listen, okay, that's fine. If you listen, we can have these conversations, right? And exactly what you're talking about is just a circular motion, right? Because at the end of the day, right, there's people today that come to me, this one brother, he came to me, he said, yo, man, my uncle told me I ain't gotta file taxes, but like once every 4 years. Misinformation in our community is the leading problem of lack of knowledge, right? So when I put them on a straight and narrow, right, I went back to 13, 14, 15, 16. I rocked them all out for him, right? This boy called me last week. It's like, you still got copies of those? Because I never mailed them. And now I want the stimulus, but I haven't mailed my taxes that I've done 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 8 years of tax returns.
Speaking of that, I want to do a topic then, just focusing on taxes, bro. Like maybe you could provide some information on taxes, because there's clearly a benefit to filing taxes no matter what, right? Because you never know when the government is going to look.
Wait, hold up. I disagree. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I was going through a child support issue and I didn't owe money, but she was claiming I did money. Now, if I would have filed my taxes, they would have took all my money. But I knew I did not owe. So I could go 3 years without filing. I couldn't go 4. So I did that twice. I did not file taxes 3 years on purpose. And then at the 4th year, before the 4th year came, I filed and I got everything. And you can do that if you don't owe. If you owe, there's penalties and taxes. But if you don't owe, you can go 3 years without paying. Am I right? You don't have to file.
You can go longer than that, right?
Yeah, and it worked out for me because they cleared the system, and I was okay. Right. Because she wasn't gonna give me that money back. That's my problem. When they give them women that money, they won't give it back to you, even if it's your money.
But they call it's called an injured spouse. You could have filed it.
I wasn't married.
You weren't married?
Yeah. No, it was.
I guess what I'm saying is there is a benefit to filing every year.
I was divorced from her.
In most cases, the answer is yes. But in the comedian's case, he had to do It's like,
What he had to
you
do.
know, no meat Wednesday. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? I'm
Hey,
never
game the
gonna not
system.
eat meat.
You gotta game the
yeah,
system.
right?
Hey,
Right.
and guess what? And it worked both times, and they
Right.
cleared it. I didn't owe anything, and I got all my money because they would have gave her every year of my tax return, even if she was not correct. And at the end, they don't
Well,
pay you back. Remember that. You don't
yeah,
get the
I had
money
a
back. You,
I had a
even if you're
customer
right, you don't get the money
where,
back.
where the husband, they were supposed to claim each other's their kids every other year, and and then the one person, she did that. She just claimed the kids back to back to back. He took her to court, and guess what? He got his money because she wasn't supposed to do it. So he had to take it to civil court,
Think about this.
small
You can
claims.
pay child support for 18 years, and they can find out it's not your child. Guess what? You ain't gonna get.
You ain't getting none of that money back.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's real.
But that's okay. If I'm paying child support and I done raised the kid, it is what it is.
I want my money back.
Let me close this topic out, fellas, and we can continue talking. Thank you for watching another episode of My Brother's Video Podcast. I am your host, Eric the Fact Checker. We enjoyed our time today, and hope you enjoyed our combative, respectable conversations regarding the stimulus check. We are glad to have had the crooner back. Old Soul was out this week, and we looking forward to talking to y'all next time. We out. Peace.
Deuces.
My brothers, my brothers, my brothers, my brothers, my brothers. Video podcast.